Train time, starting now, right after this small intro.
In compliance with COPA, this video is not for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. Sponsored by Canadian Model Railroad.ca and by donations from patrons like you. Further support provided by minprint.ca. Make your layout come alive with the 3D creation of minprint.ca. Now on with the show with your hosts, Peter and Joe.
Well, Peter,
What time is it?
it's train time.
It's train time.
November
Episode
11.
number 11.
Never thought we were to go that far.
No, it's been interesting, and of course with the COVID increase, makes it more fun. A little difficult,
It make my head shake.
but we do have a fair amount of material for the show.
Yeah, somebody is looking over our shoulder so we can get some material. I got to thank all the external people, so from all over the place that do send us some material, or do authorize us to use their material.
Right. But
This month we got the review of the October mini print of the month club,
yes,
which was an Halloween one, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up for November. And then we have also a drone view taken with the drone of Bernard Hellen of Port Hope
that's a little bonus.
in Ontario.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you have received something from your brother Ivan.
Yes, we have a little clip from my brother out in Edmonton on a Snowplow Crash.
Right.
So we have a little video there. We also have our regular view from above
And the photo of the month.
and the photos of the month. Yes.
And we'll be asking the help of the viewer to identify a locomotive that is here in Manitoba,
Yes.
working at the steel mill in Selkirk. It's a funny little machine. We'll show you a couple picture of it because that's the only one that we got, and trying to identify exactly what it is as far as locomotive is concerned. They use that to shuttles all their cars,
Switch
and
the cars
in the
around the yard. Yes,
Yeah.
and I talked to a contact at the steel mill and got a little bit of information. I'm hoping that I get some more.
Yeah, well, what's been interesting, I never seen one locomotive like that.
No, it's
And that is totally new. Where they come from, what it is,
We
I
don't-
have no idea.
don't know yet where it came from, but anyways,
So, on the miniprints.ca, what is one of our sponsors, as everybody knows,
yes,
has started to create, and matter of fact, it does create the Craftsman quality 3D print
oh yeah, it's beautiful
figures,
stuff.
which make your railroad come alive. Is no doubt about it. Now it's known internationally because he shipped all around the world. All his collections of animals on N scale, HO scale, S scale, and O scale, which is very wide variety of print. You can receive an ongoing selection of 3D print from Bernard every month. Okay, on HO scale figure though.
Yes,
When you join the mini print of the month club, you will receive $50 worth of HO scale mini print, and it's sent to you every month. If you're paying by the month, it's $24.99 USD, American money. But you can choose to join monthly, or you can join for 6 months, or you can have a year subscriptions. So you got a lot of choice in there, and you can cancel at any given time. So, which is also great. Now, definitely, if you take a 1 year, Peter, subscription, you even get a better discount
Yes.
than anything. But there's also an added bonus to that mini print club of the month. Okay, is that whatever you buy on the web page of mini prints, you receive a discount. So you got an additional discount for everything else that you buy, which is good. And to add to that, Bernard got a warranty on his print. So if you got a print that got broken, okay, or that you have broken by mistake, it will replace it to you. Like on the one that I got on the table, and what will be showing above on a B-roll, I got a couple birds, the big one, that for whatever reason they come in with their leg broken.
These ones here.
Yeah. So, but that happened. So we painted, and we got in there the 2 ghosts, and we got 5 pumpkins, we got 4 vultures, and we got the horseman with no head.
The headless horseman, yes.
Yeah.
And I have to give you credit because you did all the painting on them. So it's
That was a lot of fun, man.
yeah. So that was all your ballpark.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it took me the whole evening to do
Yeah.
it.
No, it's-
You know. So yes, they
Turned
come
out
in. They coming unpainted.
Yes, they come unpainted.
Yeah. And the set that's coming in for November is very adequate because you got
2 flying pigs.
2 flying pigs in there. You got 2 hunters, 2 dogs.
Yep.
And you got 4 turkeys.
4 turkeys. Yeah.
And the 2 guys there, they got their rifle on, and it's hunting time. So it's a beautiful, beautiful little kit. All his figure come in very well packaged,
Yes.
so that they don't get broken and so on. They come in a plastic box, and each items inside are usually wrapped in some sort of little kind of paper.
Yep.
You know, so breakage in the mail would be rare. You know, most of the breakage that will happen is when you would be painting them, or when you manipulate them whatsoever. And the aim of Bernard is to have always a package every month that is according to the season.
Yes.
So more than likely December would be about Christmas.
Christmas one. Yeah.
Right? January, February, no idea. I believe February will probably be Valentine.
Yes. Likely.
So,
Anyways, we'll wait and see what Bernard comes up with, right?
yeah. And in every set of the club, you got a minimum of 3 sets in HO. You got a set of animal mini prints, you got a set of seasonal mini print, and you got a set of mystery mini print. So meaning, from one month to another, we know that we got the seasonal one. We know that we got some animals in there, and it's something we won't know about.
Yes.
Okay? So I encourage you to get your subscriptions today.
Look into it. Yes.
Yeah. By going to www.miniprint.ca/subscriptions.
Right.
And believe you me, we got a lot of figures from Bernard, and they are excessively high quality.
Yes.
So you won't regret that, to have that on your layout. And the people will be commenting about those figures too.
Absolutely.
So now, let's have a view about that drone view that Bernard also sent us.
Yes. Enjoy. Okay, that was
was good, eh?
Very nice view from the drone. Yes.
Well, it gives some idea about modeling too.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That's really what a drone shot does.
Yes.
Right. And
Gives you a different perspective.
yeah,
Yes.
he wanted to take his drone way earlier this summer, and he had some technical problem with it.
Yeah.
He finally got it going and sent us that video, and we highly appreciate that. Thank you, Bernard.
Yes. And now we have a short video that my brother sent from Edmonton,
Yeah.
the Snowplow Crash. So let's have a look at that
Track
and
maintenance for
enjoy.
CF, but was a plow foreman previously. He gives us a first-hand account of this unusual experience.
My most memorable experience while plowing snow as a foreman go back to March 1971 when we were ordered on the forest subdivision with 3 GP9 units and plow 55397. We had experienced several rains prior to that trip and cold weather. The drifts had ice in the bottom of them, and as we approached mileage 10, we ran into problems with heavy cut. We had made 2 attempts to get through, and on the 3rd attempt we had backed out close to a half a mile, and we were making our 3rd run. And when we came into contact with the heavy snow again, our plow became airborne. Interesting to say, many of the citizens that in the area, farm people, etc., were out there with still cameras, motion picture cameras, etc. So when we hit that drift again, we became airborne. The plow, I understand, went a distance of about 45 feet in the air. Our front trucks remained in contact with the rail, and our rear trucks came to about a 25-foot level, broke loose, and dropped onto the front end of the leading unit. This cleaned most of the front end right off the leading unit, and we then tipped over with the bottom of the plow facing the unit and came back down, and with that then the leading unit had struck us in the bottom, threw the plow over on its side in the ditch. So when everything became quiet, and the first that I knew then, my mate was hollering at me, "Get up, Murray, get up." And I remarked to him, I said, if you would just step off of me. He had ended up right on top of me. I said, if you would just step off of me, maybe I could get up. I was in a very precarious position. My head was down under my right thigh. And for a minute there, he thought possibly that I had been decapitated, but we came out of that quite well. And when you think back on it, and possibly right at the time, that we as a crew hadn't really ever volunteered or signed up for any space exploration, but it sure felt like somebody fired up the rockets and we sure took off. Really, we were very fortunate that we didn't have any serious injuries. On occasions like that, it makes you feel somebody's really looking after you.
Here's a final look at a plow extra near the 1971 wreck site of Granton, Ontario.
That was great.
Yes.
It was black and white, but it's still great, you know.
Yeah.
I never seen a plow crash like that.
Yeah.
Sure, it's way back, you
Yep.
will say, but
Yeah.
those guys sure been lucky to get out of there alive.
Yeah. It's amazing what people can survive, eh?
Oh, God. Talking about that, Ivan also with his club there in Alberta, which is not the club but the museum.
Northern Alberta Rail Museum.
Yeah, and they've been doing some work on renovating and restoring some cars and so on. And turned out that they had to tarps
Quickly tarp the one car because it was leaking and it was outside. They couldn't. They didn't have any room in their buildings to move it inside, so they had to quickly throw tarps over it to keep it from.
Yeah, and it was cold and so on.
Yeah.
So
I think they probably picked the coldest day in Edmonton to go ahead and put that tarp on too. So.
well, Ivan, we're sorry to see you suffer doing these good things, but every railroaders appreciate the work of all these museums that restore artifacts, that keep the history of the model railroad and the railroad alive.
Yes.
So thank you, Ivan.
Yep.
Now we'll go to a commercial.
Yes.
So we'll be back right after this commercial.
Yes.
Ever wanted to take a nostalgic trip back to the steam era? Through the Window of a Train is the book for you. Or go back into history with the Memory of the Moonlight Specials. Through the Window of a Train for $19.95, or Memory of the Moonlight Specials for $21.95, or 4 limited time offers. You can get both books signed for only $39.95 plus shipping. Order now.
And now, let's go see the photo of the month.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Well, as usual, Peter, I'm never too surprised. And on the other way, I am, because those pictures are magnificent.
Yes.
You know, people have some beautiful works or some beautiful rail fanning, and we're glad to share it with our viewer, you know, and we're glad that your name appears in there so that the people know who you are.
And we're certainly glad that everybody sends them in, because it certainly gives us a nice segment on the show that, you know, all these different pictures from all over the place. It makes up a nice segment. So,
also, we got some stuff is coming in the mail right now from Nancy Diaz, which is Scenery Plus.
Okay.
And so that we can review.
Yes.
So she just confirmed that on an email this morning. So one of those shows will be featuring and reviewing some of her products.
Some of her stuff in upcoming shows.
Yeah. Now, let's keep going with A View from Above, courtesy of Dan Shettle.
Yes. Enjoy.
You know, those video, I could look at them over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
You know, it's beautiful.
One of these days we'll have our own drone.
Yeah. Well, so far our experience with drone have been disastrous.
Yes.
You know, the only thing we got for drone in here is 3 of them, and they're just good to practice because for whatever reason, the suppliers that send them to us didn't put the camera on.
Okay.
So, I guess.
And now I have my little one that I had. One of the rotors stopped, so I had to open it up and solder a wire back on.
Oh, that helped.
And now, in the course of doing that, I lost one of the screws. So now it's basically grounded. So,
well, we probably will have grounded anyway.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Anyways.
So, anyway, in Selkirk, we got rolling mills there.
Yes,
And
Gerdow. Yeah.
Yeah, Gerdow. And in that rolling mill, we have a video that Peter took where it showed they're switching locomotives.
Now, years ago when I worked there, they had acquired a CP switcher, and I was quite surprised because I was taking some videos for our show, and this switcher came out, and it wasn't the old CP one. It was this little 3-axle, single truck. What was the number?
TP56.
TP56, little green monster. So
It looked like that it's got a cabin of an SW1200 or
something,
1500.
Yeah.
A very short nose.
Yep.
And all of that sit on 3 axles.
3 axles. Yeah.
One truck.
One truck. Yeah.
And it pulled the scrap cars and so on. So anyway, we got just that little clip that is running as we talk about it of that locomotive, because we did like to have the viewer try to identify what kind of locomotive it is really and where does it come from, because we know that they lease it for a year.
The information that I got is that they had leased it to try it out, and so it's probably over the course of 2 years. And then about a year ago, they actually purchased it after leasing it because it did the job that they wanted. So my source, I think, is going to still look into it for me, but that's all the information that they could come up with. It had been leased, and now they own it. So we don't know where it came from or what its class is or anything. So
it doesn't even look like a Plymouth.
Like, I almost think that it being Gerdow being a Brazilian-owned steel mill, maybe this thing came from South America. Who knows? Anyways, but that's my own speculation, I guess. But,
well, you might be dead on when you said that. Yeah. Right now, it's still a mystery, but that's exactly what's happening,
So,
and
yeah, if anybody knows what it is and where it may have come from, please let us know.
Let us know, because we want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, Peter, is one question I have for you.
What's that?
How many people that we know, or that we don't know, or the photo that we see on Facebook and so on, how many of them have a memorial scene for Remembrance Day?
I really don't know. Something that I've thought about, because I do in my front yard, I do a little memorial for Remembrance Day. It goes up after Halloween. And which, being this is our November one, and we're after Remembrance Day, I think we should give a shout out to all our veterans, past and current, even ones that are active in the military. I know personally I had 2 grandfathers in the First World War. One of them was injured twice in the same battle, and my dad was in the military for as long as I can remember, and was also a military historian. That was his hobby. So I think we need to, at this time, give a shout out to anybody that's in the military, has been in the military, and certainly, we don't have that many veterans from the world wars left, but there are veterans from other, Korea and so on. So I think we should give them a shout out, and let's not forget our veterans.
No, matter of fact, on our layout upstairs, the Bergen Falls
Yes.
is in regards of a soldier in World War II that never came back. And that is there especially to honor our veterans and that specific individual. Sure, he was related to me by marriage, but it still doesn't matter. It's there for a purpose. Also, way back when we were in the soccer club, and that I modeled a train station.
Yes, you
I
had
had the Cenotaph,
Cenotaph there. Yes,
and there with somebody putting a reef on the front of the monument. Now that specific Cenotaph I still have.
Yes,
and it would be put into the Winnipeg city scene upstairs when it's time to do it.
I'm actually thinking of working something into my N scale one now too, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, it's not a difficult thing to do. It doesn't take a huge amount of space on the layout, but it sure commemorate our veterans because they deserve it, especially nowadays in all the crisis and so on, and things that's happening in the world, and with that pandemics, and people have a need to be reminded of those things.
Our day-to-day freedoms that we have, we wouldn't have if it wasn't for a lot of our veterans.
That's absolutely true. Talking about veterans and so on, I do believe that is a company right now that's coming in with the commemorative locomotives.
Yes.
That would be the two. I think it's the Navy one and the Air Force.
Navy and the Air Force One. I was online with Otter Valley.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually have two of the heritage ones pre-ordered. If the D-Day one was in there, I would have probably pre-ordered that one too. But,
the 66.
But Athearn Genesis is coming out with two heritage ones and the Air Force and Navy, I think it is.
Well, I like if our viewer were sending us picture or short clips or so on, whatever, if it's the real one from real fanning or something that they have repaint a locomotive, the old 9043
on their layouts,
on their layout, so we can make a segment about those specific locomotives because them too are honoring our veterans, and not only the Canadian one but also the American one.
Yes.
Because 4 of the commemorative military locomotives have a Canadian flag on one side and American flag on the others, except the 6644 that got 2 Canadian flags.
Yes, that's the D-Day one,
Yes. So I encourage you at that point to send us some pictures and so on of those beautiful locomotives.
Yes, whether it's the real ones or ones that you're doing on your layout. Yes.
Right. We have been running train in the last few weeks here.
Yeah, now that we have our power back.
Yeah. Though our tracks are not right up to our satisfaction.
We've discovered a couple of little glitches where 6-axle locomotives are having some problems.
We got to realign some tracks, and we have to move some tracks. And the biggest thing that really made me thought about what was happening on the layout is the actual yard that we got in there. It's a beautiful yard, Peter. There's a lot of action that can happen in there.
Yeah, you and Tony did a lot of work on that.
But the fact is the train has to go out and go in of that yard in a more, in an easier way. Because right now, you're getting out of the yards going east, you got a problem with the switch. You try to go out going west, you got problem with the switch there for whatever reason, and the classifications is not big enough. But where is the shop? It seems the shops are at the wrong place. So more than likely we'll be redoing the yards. So before we redo the yards, we'll be able to show you what the yard is at this time, right?
Yeah.
And what it will become after we're done. Because
And actually, if
worthwhile.
anybody goes back to what is it, episode 6 with the Elcos,
That wasn't that yard.
we had the Elcos. So there's a short video of the Elcos coming through the yard.
Yep. And they were on the main line.
And if they go on our webpage, you have photographs of the yards on the webpage, I believe.
Yeah, not that many. Got some on the gallery there, because of the buildings that are on that, right? Because it is a lot of building in there. Some of them probably will end up some other place on the layout when we redo the yards, because the classifications got to be bigger, and the shop would be orientated or change a little bit as far as what they are now. But it doesn't change the fact that those buildings are all having electricity in it, and a lot of them have interior scenes and so on. So it's worthwhile to do it. And by changing some of the building of places, I think it will help us to realign those tracks as far as going out and going in the yards. You know.
Yes.
So
Another project for us.
well, we always got some project in Winnipeg.
I'm sure our viewers have experienced similar things with their own layouts, where you plan everything out and think you've got it the way it should be, and start running and find out that you want to modify things.
Well, you know, Peter, never said to anybody that we were professional. You know, we're just regular guys, and we just want to share the hobby.
Yes.
And right now we're craving to bring the viewer to see the layout.
Yes.
But we got a conundrum in there, because to us it's not ready for that. You know, we want to get it one piecemeal at a time. You know, so that you have the most advantageous view of what's going on there. And to run trains and make a video of running trains where is some that is scenic that we don't have to touch, thank God, and some that is not scenic where we have the problem right now. So before we do some ballast on those tracks and so on, we want to have it perfect.
Running perfect.
So our track crew has got a lot of work in the front of themselves.
Well, I think our track crew is going to get larger. We'll all have to become part of the track crew.
It would be a four gang members there to have it done as quick as we can, you know, but done properly. Sure is some little tricks that we learn along the way like anybody else. But you know, for the people that think that people with big layout, they just build the layout and the layout just work proper the minute they put the locomotive on, that ain't true. Okay? Don't believe to the fact that because you got a big layout, everything is perfect. We all went through the pain, you know, of putting it together. You know, you can have a beautiful plan laid out for your layout, but along the way is something that will not be right.
And there's always fine tuning. Yes.
Yes, and you got to fine tune the track to get dirty. So, anyway, I guess it's time to say goodbye for right now for this show, and see you next month on show number 12.
Enjoy this one.
Yes, Make sure you comment below, right? And don't forget to visit www.miniprint.ca and see the collection that they got in there. And at the same time, come and visit us on our website at www.canadianmodelrailroad.ca. Go to our store so you can get those beautiful books from Barbara Lang.
Yep.
So till next show, happy modeling, guys. We'll see you next.
And thank you to our veterans.
You bet.